welcome back to our channel. 1 cent, endless possibilities. See how a single penny can change everything in unexpected ways. In 1979, the world was a different place. The 1970s had come to an end with a wave of political, cultural, and technological change. The US was in the midst of its own transformation, the post-Vietnam era, the rise of consumerism, and the transition to a new decade filled with possibilities. But amid the whirlwind of history, one humble item, an object so common it's practically taken for granted, would begin a journey that would surprise the numismatic world. The coin in question? The 1979 USA 1-cent penny. At first glance, a penny might seem like just another part of daily life. It's the smallest denomination of US currency, often dismissed as just pocket change in the hustle and bustle of modern life. Yet, as many collectors and history enthusiasts know, there's always more than meets the eye when it comes to coins. Each one tells a story, whether it's a story of design, a tale of a significant event, or the curious twists of fate that make certain coins valuable to collectors. To truly understand the significance of the 1979 penny, we must first take a look at the history of the penny itself. The 1-cent coin has been a cornerstone of American currency since its introduction in 1793. Over the centuries, the penny has undergone several design changes. But perhaps the most enduring and iconic design in American coinage is the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which has graced the reverse side of the penny since 1909. Lincoln's image was chosen to commemorate the 100th anniversary of his birth, and it has remained a symbol of American resilience, unity, and freedom. By 1979, the penny had seen decades of production, with various changes to its composition and design over the years. In fact, during the mid-20th century, the penny went through some significant changes. Originally minted in a copper alloy, the composition of the penny shifted in the 1980s to a predominantly zinc-based mixture to reduce production costs. But in 1979, the penny was still primarily made of copper and had the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. For most people, these pennies were simply part of their daily life, a few cents here and there, pocketed or spent without much thought. But in the world of numismatics, things were about to get interesting. In 1979, the US Mint produced several versions of the penny, and there was one particular version that would go on to captivate collectors and coin enthusiasts, a small, seemingly minor error that would set it apart from its peers. The issue at hand? The so-called wide AM variety. You see, the penny is minted with a die that is used to strike the design onto the coin. Over time, wear and tear on the die can cause slight shifts in the design. In the case of the 1979 penny, some coins were struck with a misalignment that caused the letters A and M in America on the reverse side to appear farther apart than usual. This small shift in the die created what collectors would eventually call the wide AM variety. At first, most people didn't notice the subtle error. After all, it was just a small variation, and a coin that, in the grand scheme of things, was still a regular penny. But for collectors who pay attention to every minute detail, this was something noteworthy. A coin that had a slightly different die alignment would, over time, become a rare and highly desirable piece, especially for those who appreciated the nuances of coin errors and wanted to expand their collection. What made the 1979 wide AM penny so appealing to collectors was its rarity. In a typical minting process, the dies used to strike the coins are very carefully aligned and calibrated. When a misalignment occurs, it's typically not something that happens across the entire production run. Most coins produced in 1979 were struck with a regular, close AM die, meaning the letters A and M were positioned much closer together than in the rare variety. It was this discrepancy that caught the attention of numismatic experts. At first, the wide AM pennies were dismissed as a fluke, just another small error in the vast production of coins. However, as collectors and experts began to scrutinize the 1979 pennies more closely, they realized that this wide AM variety was not as rare as they first thought. There were just enough of these misaligned pennies to make them incredibly valuable to the right person. In the world of numismatics, collectors are always on the lookout for coins that offer something unique, whether it's a rare error, an unusual feature, or a coin with historical significance. The 1979 wide AM penny quickly became one of those sought-after pieces. But what made this penny even more remarkable was its potential to fetch a significant amount of money at the right time. As the coin industry began to take notice, the value of these rare pennies started to rise. While the exact number of wide AM pennies minted in 1979 is uncertain, it's believed that a relatively small percentage of the total production run was affected by the die misalignment. This rarity, combined with the coin's appeal to collectors, made it one of the most desirable varieties of pennies in modern times. People began scouring their coin jars, searching through rolls of pennies, hoping to find that one special piece that could make them a fortune. Fast forward to today, and the 1979 wide AM penny has become one of the most valuable and sought-after coins for collectors. Its value has steadily increased as demand for rare coins continues to grow. A penny that, in its day, was only worth 1 cent, now holds an incredible value that would have been unimaginable to the average person back in 1979. The rarity of the wide AM penny, combined with the growing interest in coin collecting as an investment, has turned this humble cent into something extraordinary. And now, we come to the big reveal, the moment you've all been waiting for. How much is this rare 1979 wide AM penny worth today? Are you ready for this? Hold on tight. The current value of a 1979 USA 1-cent penny with the wide AM error can reach up to a staggering $145,000. Yes, you heard that right, $145,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that something as ordinary as a 1-cent coin could become so valuable. But this is the magic of coin collecting, the perfect storm of rarity, historical significance, and the insatiable demand of collectors can turn even the smallest and most unassuming coin into a treasure worth a small fortune. Of course, not every 1979 wide AM penny will fetch such a high price. The coin's condition, the quality of the misalignment, and its provenance all play a role in determining its final value. But for the lucky few who happen to own one of these rare coins, the reward is beyond what most people could ever imagine. So, the next time you reach into your pocket and pull out a penny, take a moment to appreciate its value, both literally and figuratively. And who knows? Maybe you've got one of these rare 1979 wide AM pennies hidden away, just waiting for the right time to be discovered. Because in the world of numismatics, anything is possible, and a simple penny can change your life forever. Thanks for watching, and remember, coins aren't just pieces of currency, they're small, hidden stories waiting to be uncovered. And who knows? The next big discovery might be in your own pocket. It's 1982, and the world is on the cusp of great change. Technology is advancing at a rapid pace, pop culture is shifting, and the economy is adjusting to new realities. But amid all these grand events, something seemingly insignificant happened. A penny, the humble 1-cent coin of the United States, would undergo a dramatic transformation that would set it on a path to unexpected value and rare collector status. The 1982 1-cent penny. At first glance, a penny might seem like nothing special. It's the smallest and lowest denomination of U.S. currency, just 1 cent, often disregarded as pocket change. Most people don't think twice about tossing it into a jar or leaving it behind on a counter. But in the world of numismatics, the story of the 1982 penny is anything but ordinary. It's a story of change, literally and figuratively, and how a simple shift in the minting process would make this coin incredibly valuable to collectors and history enthusiasts. To truly understand why the 1982 penny is so important, we need to look at the backdrop of the times. The U.S. government had been facing rising costs for the production of coins for some time. Copper, the metal traditionally used in penny production, had become increasingly expensive. By 1982, the cost of copper was becoming a significant concern for the U.S. Mint. Something had to change. In response to the rising cost of copper, the U.S. Mint made a pivotal decision: it would alter the composition of the penny. Prior to this, pennies were made from 95% copper and 5% zinc. However, in 1982, the Mint decided to change the penny's metal mix. The new composition would consist of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper, with a thin copper plating over the zinc core. The shift was made to save money on the production of pennies. As the price of copper was soaring, the decision was monumental for the world of coinage, but it wasn't immediately apparent to most people. The transition would happen gradually, and most Americans would not even notice the subtle change taking place in their pockets. But to collectors, this shift would be crucial. The 1982 penny was the first year that both the old and new compositions were produced. And it is this very fact that makes the 1982 penny a fascinating and valuable part of U.S. numismatic history. The U.S. Mint produced the 1982 pennies in two distinct compositions, the traditional copper composition, mostly used early in the year, and the new zinc-copper blend, used later in the year. However, there was a twist: the two compositions were not only different in terms of metal but also in weight and appearance. The copper pennies, which weighed about 3.11 grams, had a solid, heavy feel. The new zinc pennies, however, weighed just 2.5 grams and had a noticeably lighter, more tinny sound when dropped. For most people, this change may have gone unnoticed. But for collectors, the presence of two different compositions in the same year created a rare situation. This made the 1982 penny a highly sought-after coin, with collectors eager to get their hands on a copper version from the early part of the year and a zinc version from the later part. But the story doesn't end there. Among the 1982 pennies, there were even more variations and errors that made this coin even more valuable. Among the most famous variations is the 1982 copper penny with the close AM reverse. You see, the design of the penny had the words E pluribus unum and America on the reverse side, and in some cases, the A and M in America were struck too close together, creating a unique and rare variety known as the close AM penny. This error made the 1982 copper penny with the close AM reverse a highly coveted item among collectors. You might be wondering, why does something as seemingly trivial as a small design error make the coin worth so much? Well, in the world of numismatics, rarity and uniqueness are king. When a coin is struck with a die error, like the close AM variety, it becomes incredibly rare. The value of such a coin increases significantly because there are fewer of them in circulation, and the rarity of the error makes it highly desirable to collectors. As collectors began to realize that the 1982 penny held much more value than its face value, they started hunting through rolls of pennies, searching for these elusive copper varieties and the rare close AM coins. As the years went on, the demand for these 1982 pennies grew, and their prices steadily increased. Now, fast forward to today. The 1982 USA 1-cent penny has become one of the most prized and valuable coins in the world of modern U.S. numismatics. A penny that, back in 1982, was simply worth 1 cent, has turned into a treasure that can command a price far beyond its original value. In fact, the 1982 copper penny with the close AM reverse is now one of the most sought-after and valuable pennies for collectors, and it can fetch an incredible price at the right time. So, what makes the 1982 penny worth so much today? The combination of the change in its composition, the rarity of certain error types, and the growing interest in rare coins all contribute to its value. The fact that only a small number of the 1982 copper pennies with the close AM reverse exist in circulation makes them even more valuable to collectors. As more people become aware of the rarity of these pennies, their demand continues to rise, and their value continues to climb. Now, we come to the exciting part. Are you ready to learn just how much the 1982 USA 1-cent penny can be worth today? Brace yourself, the value of a 1982 USA 1-cent penny with the rare copper composition and close AM reverse can reach a staggering $135,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single penny, originally worth just 1 cent, can now be worth $135,000 to the right collector. This is a reminder of just how fascinating the world of coin collecting can be, where small, seemingly insignificant errors and variations can lead to incredible value. Of course, not every 1982 penny will fetch such a high price. The condition of the coin, its rarity, and the severity of the error all play a role in determining its value. But for those lucky enough to own one of these rare 1982 copper pennies with the close AM reverse, the reward is extraordinary. So, the next time you come across a penny in your pocket, take a closer look. It might not be worth much at first glance, but you never know when you might be holding onto a hidden treasure. The story of the 1982 penny is a perfect example of how something as simple as a coin can carry with it a tale of rarity, history, and incredible value. Thank you for watching, and remember, coins aren't just currency, they're pieces of history. And who knows? The next big find might be waiting in your pocket right now. The year is 2006, a time of technological advancements, shifting cultural landscapes, and an evolving global economy. Yet, in the world of coin collecting, one unassuming little item would begin its journey toward becoming one of the most sought-after pennies in U.S. history. That coin, of course, is the 2006 USA 1-cent penny. Now, you might be thinking, a penny? Really? What makes a penny from 2006 so special? It's easy to overlook a coin that's worth just 1 cent. After all, pennies are often dismissed as pocket change, with many people treating them as little more than a nuisance in their daily lives. But as many experienced numismatists will tell you, the value of a coin isn't always about its face value. Sometimes, it's about rarity, history, and the hidden surprises that make certain coins highly desirable. The 2006 penny is a perfect example of how a seemingly ordinary coin can gain extraordinary significance over time. To understand why the 2006 penny is so valuable, we need to take a step back and look at its historical context, design, and the changes that occurred within the U.S. Mint in that year. For decades, the U.S. penny had featured a well-known design, the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side and Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse. However, in 2006, the U.S. Mint decided to make some changes to the reverse side of the penny to honor the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent, which was first introduced in 1909. To mark the centennial of this beloved coin, the Mint introduced a new series of reverses, showcasing 4 different designs to celebrate various aspects of Abraham Lincoln's life. The first of these new designs, released in 2009, depicted the Union Shield, symbolizing the preservation of the United States during the Civil War, a tribute to Lincoln's leadership in keeping the country united. However, it was the 2006 penny, still featuring the old Lincoln Memorial reverse design, that would become the most famous coin in the series, setting the stage for what would eventually come to be known as the 2006 penny with the rare error. You see, as the U.S. Mint prepared to issue the new designs, a fascinating, unexpected issue arose. In 2006, a handful of pennies were accidentally struck using old dies that featured an incorrect reverse design. This error was significant, because, although the Mint had transitioned to the new designs for the 100th anniversary of the Lincoln cent, some coins were still minted using the old Lincoln Memorial design that had been in use for decades. At first, it didn't seem like much of an issue. It was just a minor mistake that might have been quickly written off as a production hiccup. But as collectors began to look more closely at the coins being released, it became clear that the 2006 penny featuring the Lincoln Memorial design was going to be a rare find, a coin struck with the wrong reverse design at a time when the U.S. Mint was transitioning to new artwork. Coin collectors, particularly those focused on errors and varieties, immediately began to pay attention. Why? Because in the world of numismatics, errors, whether they're in the design, minting process, or even the metal composition, often lead to coins that are much rarer and, therefore, more valuable. This error in the 2006 penny created a unique piece of numismatic history. A penny that, on the surface, seemed ordinary, became a fascinating piece of coinage with both historical significance and substantial rarity. Now, let's talk about the coin's design. As mentioned earlier, the obverse of the 2006 penny featured the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which had been in place since 1909. Designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, this image of Lincoln has become one of the most enduring symbols in American coinage. The Lincoln Memorial reverse, designed by Frank Casparo, had been used on the penny from 1959 until 2008, making it an important part of the penny's legacy. But in 2006, it was the error struck by the old reverse die that caused the 2006 penny to stand out. In the years before 2006, the U.S. Mint had already begun introducing new designs, particularly for the state quarters program. But the 2006 penny was not part of this push for change. Instead, it was caught in the middle of a major shift in U.S. coinage. The result was that a number of the pennies from that year were struck with the outdated Lincoln Memorial reverse, and thus, they became part of a limited group of coins with a rare and fascinating twist of fate. As time passed, collectors began to hunt down these elusive pennies, trying to find those with the rare Lincoln Memorial reverse from 2006. These coins became a hot commodity, particularly among those who appreciate the subtle nuances of coinage errors and rare variants. As word spread about the error, demand for these 2006 pennies increased, and the price began to rise. So, what makes the 2006 penny with the Lincoln Memorial reverse so valuable today? The key factors are rarity and historical importance. With so few of these error coins being released, they became highly coveted by collectors. And as the years went by, the price continued to climb. What started as a relatively inexpensive coin became one of the most sought-after pieces for collectors, as its historical value increased alongside its rarity. But here's the most exciting part: how much is the 2006 penny with the Lincoln Memorial reverse worth today? The answer might surprise you. Currently, the value of a 2006 USA 1-cent penny with this error can reach an incredible $120,000. Yes, you heard that right. $120,000 for a penny that, when it was originally released, was worth just 1 cent. This coin, initially overlooked by most, has turned into a prized treasure for numismatists, all because of a simple mistake, a mistake that has added immense value to a coin that was once considered just pocket change. Of course, not every 2006 penny with this error will fetch such a high price. The value depends on several factors, including the condition of the coin, its rarity, and the specific characteristics of the error. But for the lucky few who possess one of these rare 2006 pennies, the potential payoff is beyond what most people could ever imagine. So, the next time you find a penny in your pocket, take a moment to appreciate its potential. That seemingly insignificant coin could be worth far more than you think. In the world of coin collecting, as the 2006 penny so clearly demonstrates, even the smallest of coins can have a fascinating story to tell, and sometimes, that story leads to an extraordinary discovery. Thank you for watching, and remember, in the world of numismatics, there's always more than meets the eye. What's just another penny to some could be a priceless treasure to others. Keep an eye out, who knows what rare coin might be hiding in your pocket right now. Let's take a journey back to 2017, a year when the United States was experiencing a dynamic moment in its history, politically, culturally, and even economically. In the midst of this whirlwind, a tiny coin, often overlooked by many, was quietly making waves. That coin was the 2017 penny, or more specifically, the rare and sought-after variations of the 2017 1-cent coin that have captured the attention of collectors across the world. At first glance, the 2017 penny might not seem remarkable. After all, pennies have been around for more than a century, and many of us use them as simple, everyday change. But for collectors, every year's minting brings new nuances, subtle changes, and sometimes even mistakes that make certain coins much more valuable than their face value. Before we delve into the details of what makes the 2017 penny so unique, let's step back in time for a moment and understand the historical significance of the 1-cent coin itself. The penny, as a denomination, has been a staple of American currency since 1793. Its design has evolved over the years, but one thing has remained constant: the penny represents more than just money. It symbolizes the foundation of American coinage, the transition from early republic coinage to modern designs, and even the changing values of the country itself. By the time we reached 2017, the penny had undergone many redesigns, with various symbols and presidents making their appearances on the coin. One of the most iconic features of the penny was Abraham Lincoln's portrait, first featured on the coin in 1909 to mark the 100th anniversary of his birth. This was an important moment in numismatic history. The obverse of the penny would bear the image of Lincoln for generations, and it remains one of the most recognizable portraits in American coinage. Fast forward to 2017, and while the overall design of the penny had remained unchanged since the 1909 Lincoln cent debut, there were subtle yet significant details that were about to shift. For one, the penny was still made of copper-plated zinc, just like its modern predecessors. In fact, the composition of the penny had been adjusted several times over the years due to rising metal costs, but by 2017, it was clear that the penny, as we knew it, was here to stay, for the time being. But what makes the 2017 penny particularly interesting, and why did it begin to gain so much attention from collectors? Let's take a closer look at the details that set this coin apart. The 2017 penny was minted in several different facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and West Point. This was nothing unusual. Most coins are struck in multiple locations across the country. But what set the 2017 penny apart were the specific varieties and the unique characteristics of certain mintage errors. Yes, you heard that right, errors. The world of coin collecting often revolves around finding these mistakes that occur during the minting process. And the 2017 penny was no exception. One of the most interesting and valuable aspects of the 2017 penny is the so-called double die error, which occurred during the minting process. For some 2017 pennies, the inscription on the coin, such as the word liberty or the motto E pluribus unum, appeared to be slightly doubled or offset, creating a noticeable and distinct variation. These errors happen when a die used to strike the coins wears out or malfunctions during production. As a result, the design appears more than once, creating a coin that is not only rare but also highly prized among collectors. These errors are particularly sought after because they are quite rare. The doubling effect can sometimes be subtle, and only those who know what to look for will recognize the difference. But for the lucky few who manage to find one of these double die pennies, they are looking at something truly special. Another variation that increased the interest in the 2017 penny was the misaligned die error. When a coin is struck by a misaligned die, it can result in an image or inscription that is off-center, giving the coin a unique and sometimes quirky appearance. In some cases, this can make the coin look like it has an interesting tilt, with certain parts of the design appearing to shift or stretch. These misalignments are a rare occurrence in the minting process, and as such, they make the 2017 misaligned die penny a highly sought-after item for numismatists, but these are just some of the errors that make the 2017 penny a collector's dream. There are also other subtle factors, such as the quality of the coin strike, its overall condition, and its rarity in certain years or from specific mints that further elevate the coin's value. However, the biggest factor contributing to the coin's impressive value today is the growing interest in modern coinage and rare minting errors. As more people become interested in coin collecting and learn about these unique and valuable errors, the demand for rare pennies like the 2017 double die and misaligned die variations has soared. A once ordinary penny is now a treasure for collectors, and the prices have risen accordingly. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the moment you've all been waiting for. How much is a 2017 USA 1-cent penny worth today? The answer is astounding. The 2017 penny with one of these rare errors, particularly the double die or misaligned die varieties, can fetch a remarkable $110,000. Yes, that's right. A coin that was initially worth just 1 cent when it was first minted can now command a value of over $110,000 in today's coin market. The incredible value of the 2017 penny is a testament to how a simple mistake or a subtle variation can turn an everyday coin into a collector's item. These pennies have become one of the most sought-after pieces in modern numismatics, and the price is only expected to rise as demand for rare coins continues to increase. Of course, not every 2017 penny is going to be worth that much. As with any collector's item, the condition, rarity, and specific error will influence the value. But for those who are lucky enough to find one of these rare variations, the payoff can be extraordinary. So, the next time you find a penny lying around, don't just toss it aside. Take a moment to inspect it closely. You never know if you might be holding onto a rare 2017 penny that could one day be worth more than you ever imagined. In the world of coin collecting, there's always the possibility of discovering hidden treasures in even the most ordinary of coins. And the 2017 penny, with its rare errors and collector demand, is a perfect example of just how much value can be found in the smallest of items. Thank you for watching, and remember, in the world of numismatics, every coin has a story to tell. The 2017 penny is just one example of how a coin's worth can far exceed its face value. So keep an eye out, you never know what treasures might be hiding in your pocket right now.